made their sacrifice now.
A special good morning to each and everyone. The time in the studios of Zaraza Radio, just about 17 down after the hour of 9 o'clock. And it's another session of Policing with You. And this morning I have a tightly packed studio. Mr. Maguire is in the building. He's the head chef in the kitchen cooking. And of course, he will take it away and I will interact when I can and see what we have for today on Policing with You.
All right, of course. Rani, morning to our radio listeners. It's another week of Policing with You, and we always look forward to the engagement from our listeners in relation to the topic that we are discussing, whether by way of informing you, educating you, or you can make your suggestion. Together, we are making this nation safer. And so with me today, I have Sergeant O'Dane. Of course, I'm Sergeant Maguire, being the host for this session of Policing with You. So I will just, as Rani said, we have a packed panelists, and today we are really discussing about teens in relation to restricted spaces or places for children who are considered underage, as in particularly adult entertainment or places where times of the day when they are not supposed to be found in these areas. So I have Sergeant O'Dane. I'm going to turn right over to her, and then she will allow the rest of the panelists to say good morning, introduce themselves, and we'll go right into the interaction. Sergeant O'Dane.
Good morning to the listening and viewing audience. Yes, I am Sergeant O'Dane, presently attached to the National Intervention Team that gear towards the youth of our federation, creating safe spaces, intervention such as police clubs, police drum corps, police camps. Yeah, so that is the umbrella that I hold.
Right.
That I hold this morning. I'll let the others introduce themselves.
All right. Just go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Tanya Bell James. I am the case manager for child justice in the Department of Probation and Child Protection Services.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. I am Raven Bradshaw. I am a probation and child care officer at Probation and Child Justice Service.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Lawson Percival, no stranger to ZIZ, and I'm a probation officer in Child Justice Unit at Probation and Protection Services.
Right, and so by way of kicking off, and so Rani, for our listeners, they can call in at any time, and you too, Rani, can weigh in if you have any question.
Yes, I would.
Right. So, can anyone explain for me what is the law in St. Kitts and Nevis? What does the law says about entering or being present in adult entertainment places?
Okay. One of the laws are talking about children being unsupervised past 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
That is across the board. Once a child is unsupervised on the street past 10 o'clock, not with a responsible adult, a parent, mother or father, or legal guardian, the police has the right to pick up that child and get that child to safety, whether it back at the police station or home to their house.
Right. And so it's interesting because we are going into our carnival season, and we know this is a time where you find different activities happening at various times of the day. And so how you can distinguish when a child is considered restricted to be at certain place during these times of festivity.
If I may, carnival, that doesn't say it's a free for all.
Okay.
The laws are the laws. The laws run from January straight down to December.
Right.
So not because it's carnival, okay, we're gonna forget the laws.
Mm-hmm.
The laws are there and we must adhere to the law. Some people say, okay, it's carnival, so we have to give them some leeway. If we do that, the shortfall is the problems that comes after. Whether during the carnival you have the problems, or at the new year, January, we realize, okay, this is what was happening, and see the results there. So we cannot relax this.
Okay, so before we delve further into that, let us, for a matter of context and the listening audience, when we're talking about the minors, what ages, what are the ages that the law specifically speaks to that must be supervised, gone past a certain time of the day?
The law states that the 16 and under.
16
You have to be
years and
16
under.
and under. But the legal age in St. Kitts is 18. That's one of the challenges we have, because on the books it's saying at 16 you can consent, at 16 you can be out on the road, but at 16 you can't go to the hospital to get medical care. At
Right.
16 you can't do anything for yourself.
You can't even
drink,
come to the
you
station and
can't
make
come
a
to the
report.
Correct. So we're
without
trying to get all
appearing.
of that aligned with the legal age, which is 18. So we're trying to move the age of consent to 18 as well, because that way we get some discrepancies. Because some fathers would say, my daughter is 16 and she could have consented to have sex. Now I got to take care of the daughter and a granddaughter. So there's a lot of argument about the age of consent being 16, but being an adult and legal age is 18.
Right. Ronnie, anything you want to wear in a CH?
It might be, it might be a little
As a
early.
neutral person, someone who, yeah.
The question you just asked was very important about the age, because you didn't specify on it what is a child. But I think she just kind of complicated what you asked in a way.
Right.
What you need to know exactly is which defines a child. Is it 16 or 18? Because that's where you got to work with right now, because that's where you're working.
Right.
So
Good
the-
question, Ronnie. Yes.
The law states persons under 16 and under.
Okay.
So if you're 16, you're considered a child.
Okay. So
But
don't-
if you're 17 and above, you're free to do certain things. But we are focusing on the 16 and under age group for this season. We can't do anything about the older age group, because by law there's no law that states that we have the power and jurisdiction over them.
Right.
But for now we deal with 16 and under.
16 and under.
Yes.
So before we go back to where you left off, Mr. Percival, point out for the listeners some of these places. Because you said, when I referenced Carnival, you said, well, Carnival is only one time, but the laws are to be enforced throughout the year, the entire year. So outside of festive activities, what are some of these places that are restricted when it comes to a child under the 16 years and under?
The bars, the various bars, the
Nightclubs.
functions that are coming up. And we know there's a lot of functions coming up. The adult club, the strip club, for want of a better term.
Right.
All these, and the law speaks to even a place that sells alcohol. Children are not supposed to be there. So we have a broad net to cast here, okay? And some people may say, okay, how we are going to do that, right? But we have to now do something, look at a holistic way of doing these things, because we cannot just stand idly by and not do anything.
Right.
Because we see the ramifications after, the after effects.
Right. And so let's try to identify why the law is so specific on children who is 16 years and under, in terms of from an enforcement standpoint. Because it seems to me that once they are with their parents, it's okay. After 10, in the context of the law, am I correct? But the challenge is, once they are not with an adult, that is where the problem is. So what is the difference with being without an adult and being with an adult?
If I may answer that, to me, and the law needs to be fine-tuned, because anybody can say, okay, I'm with this person, or a parent could come to a function and okay, this is my son, he's going to be with me. And we would have faced that challenge in something that we did for the music festival. We saw people coming in with their sons, their daughters, and next thing you know, we walk around and
they by themselves. They're wandering off.
Right? And parents have to be more responsible than that, because when they do these things, they open up the children for wrong things to happen to them. Right? These functions that are coming up, right? We are basically looking at the alcohol consumptions, especially with females. A drunk female is an easy target, and we don't want that for our youth.
Right.
We don't want that for our adult females. We don't really want that for our youth, because we keep seeing this over and over.
Right.
And if we don't do something, the circle is going to continue going around.
Right. So if I understand what you're saying, that the distinction is that being supervised, there can be a mitigation in relation to potential risk, as opposed to being unsupervised.
Yes.
That's correct.
The drinking of alcohol and the consumption of other drugs, marijuana, and other influences that you, as a juvenile, might not, even though you make the decision, but you might not be able to rationalize the impact or the consequences of those decisions. And so being unsupervised puts these persons at that age group category at risk. We agreeing with that?
Yes.
As some of the reasons.
Yes.
Now, Sergeant,
before
yes.
you agree, before we move on from the point, because am I understanding that the law says that as long as the kid is accompanied by an adult or a parent, he can or she can go into an adult entertainment? Because I think you just mixed it up a while ago by saying music festival or whatever. I think the law says being out on the road, unsupervised without a parent after 10. I think that's what the law is saying.
Yes.
Not going into
Not going
club.
into it, no.
Because whether it's you with a parent or not, you still
Correct.
a child.
Correct.
Right.
And that's
Right.
one of the
Thank you for clearing
things
that
that
up,
we
but
are
that is true,
advocating for. This Christmas season, we find often that the children attend different functions during the Christmas season with their parents initially, and then they stray. So we are saying, we would like the persons heading these functions to ask for IDs. Children are not allowed at functions without ID. Children are not allowed functions, period. Going with parents, going by themselves, it's not allowed.
Right. But Rani make a very critical point that I think the spirit of the law is really trying to address the challenge where the child is either found wandering on the street after a certain time, or being at a place that have these entertainment not being supervised, and it's not so much like music festival and those things. Am I correct?
Whether you're
As
found
the professional
I think
person.
whether you're
straight
found
on the-
wandering, or if you're found at that particular, the law clearly states you're not supposed to be there.
Right, I think
So-
that you're straying on the you're thinking on the road after 10 o'clock. But we are saying in adult entertainment
Yeah,
environment, the law is clear to protect our youths from these spaces.
yeah. Because for
Right,
example,
but let us be sure. Let us be clear in the sense that music festival, carnival, queen shows, and all the different activities. Are we saying that the children are not supposed to be in these places unless they are with the adults?
That's correct. They are not supposed. They're not supposed to be there.
Okay. And
if I,
well,
You
I'm going to
hear that
come now
they're
to
not
Sergeant
supposed
Today
to-
because
they're
if-
not supposed to be there.
uh-huh.
Oh, that sounds
That's a different
straight across
twist.
the board.
Yeah.
So, for instance, would you consider teenage pageant queen show to be?
For
Because
that,
you're saying teenage,
We'll attract that
adults
age
goes
group,
to that.
yeah.
So, a lot of these functions, I'm not saying the fets. The fets, I think, is what you're heading at,
yeah,
right? But you said queen show, well, go, stuff like that. Appearing. parent take the kid with them.
We are more specifically talking about the feds. We understand that it's a carnival season, and quote unquote, they will say it's our culture to have these shows and have these functions. We are saying children should be supervised at these functions. If it's a child pageant, let's say teen
pageant.
Yeah. You shouldn't be serving alcohol. Alcohol should not be on your bar list at all. So we shouldn't have any concerns of children consuming alcohol at a teen show because it's for teen. So the bartender should not be allowed to serve alcohol in a teen show.
The parents.
It's a teen.
But usually the adults.
Yes, but it is a teen show. It is geared towards the teens. So in my opinion, there should be no alcohol.
What I think you should say, there should be no serving of alcohol for the teens. Because
But I can go to the bar. And say, can I have a Caribe? And you see it as nothing. Maybe I don't look like I'm a teen, but I'm 14. My chest is big. I'm dressed inappropriately, and you don't know the difference. And you're not gonna stop to ask for an ID.
Right.
So my thing is,
but that is where you should, because to enforce these laws, you have to enforce things like that.
IDs, yeah.
That's the only way. In the States or whatever you go to, you cannot go to the bar.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, if you're a big person and you're kind of short and look young, you have to produce the ID.
Yeah, but we need to get to that place. Renewing your liquor license, asking for permission to have these events should come with a clause from the police end, from the legal ends, to say persons up to this age, IDs must be shown. So it should be on the posters. It should be on different. When you have your press conference, when people have their press conference, you make it loud that it needs to be 18 and over. So in my view, it takes a holistic approach. All of us have to work together, because the truth is that we're putting the children at more risk with these marijuana-infused drinks, the alcohol. We're putting them at more risk. And then if we realize there's an increase in mental persons on the street, and majority of them are young persons. So it says that something is wrong. We need to pull back. We need to rein back in the slackness we've seen over the past years. Because if we don't do that, we don't have the mental facilities to deal with these things.
So, Ronnie, before we take a break, let's marry the responsibility with the enforcement, because you would realize that enforcement, and as we are trying to discuss, that when there may be some what is consider complication, it kind of limits the enforcement in terms of the decisiveness. You make reference to the point that, and I agree with the officer, that if it is a teen pageant, part of the carnival committee restriction should be, it's a teen pageant, so I wouldn't say don't sell alcohol, but the ID must produce if the person who is selling is suspicious that that person might not be an adult person. Because it's difficult to say to an adult person to go to an entertainment and they can't entertain themselves socially with a drink.
Yeah.
It would be really difficult.
Will be there.
So,
I mean, at the end of the day, the parents will be there at those shows.
But in terms of the legal responsibility of the parents now and the enforcement, let's talk about that, Sergeant, today. Yeah, in terms of enforcement, what are some of the responsibilities that you think that the parents should demonstrate?
Parents are responsible for knowing where their children are and ensuring that they're safe and that they are appropriate environments.
Right.
Allowing the children to attend adult entertainment place can consider neglect or failure to protect with a serious cause for child welfare concern.
Right, and especially in the case of girls, we have the special victims unit in terms of, these are some of the risks that we are trying to protect the children from being molested, or take advantage of sexually, because sometimes, as the reference was made, some of these persons, they may look mature, but they are really juveniles, and they can fall prey to opposite sex in relation to that. All right, and so in terms of the enforcement from the police end, anything you want to?
Parents may face a warning, or they can be recommended for counseling, parental classes. They also are fined if a child is found after 10 o'clock.
Right.
The officer can decide whether they're going to warn the person or they're going to take the matter before the court, and it's a fine of $500. So even if we're there, let's say we're at the gate for the fete, the children before 10 o'clock, you tell them, go home. After 10 o'clock, they go to the station, they call the parents.
Are we advocating for that? You have a show, you have an entertainment, you have a function. And so whose responsibility it is to, is it the organizer's responsibility to say, well, at this point, because I know we had work at sports, for example. And one of the things I know from my standpoint, whenever schools, high schools are having their, let's say their athletic activity, they usually try to have entertainment after.
Right.
And so we ensure that if that is done, it must be confined within a certain timeline. After that, so they will have to get their event finished at a certain time. So if you're having entertainment, that entertainment must not go beyond 9 o'clock, for example. So are we saying that in the case of other activities that the organizers have a responsibility to ensure that children that are under the age of 16 do not be found there? Or the police insist on that? Whose responsibility it is?
I think it's a holistic effort.
Holistic.
Yeah.
It's both.
Yeah.
To everybody.
Yeah.
Both.
All hands on deck.
I'll be devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Because I know some folks are out there right now. Because I know for a fact this is what goes wrong with this whole type of enforcement. A while ago, the enforcement was kind of laid more on the parents than the police a while ago. And folks would be here, they're saying, now, why now? Why not yesterday? And why not after? You see, because if I was to ask you, when last did you all make, I don't want to say arrests,
Right.
but
Any concerted effort to
ensure this,
right.
that you start, you see children on the street all
Right.
day, all night, right? And so, yes, we're trying to curb a lot of the things that is happening, especially with the alcohol, because I'm in it with you. But why now? Why not yesterday? And why it's not going to be after?
If I may answer, it was Edmund Burke, and I love this quote so much. Said, "For evil to triumph, just good men just sit aside and do nothing." And I find that St. Kitts, we have a society of reaction. We wait until things happen, and then we deal with the problem. Right? I don't like to do that, and that is why we are here. That is why, because from the department standpoint, we could have said, okay, we will just deal with the problems when the problems come in January and see how best we could. But we said no. Let us step out of the box, create more work, create more responsibility for us. Because as it is, this is something that we will have to do some serious hours
Night work.
in the night.
Night work.
In the night, because we are basically going out there to police these functions, because we want to make sure that our children, who we are tasked with the responsibility of looking after, because some of the parents, they may looking after the children, and that is where we step in. And if needs be, we're gonna work with the police, and if needs be to put some of these parents before the court, so be it, because we don't want to be on the reactive side.
Right.
And we're gonna serve warning now to parents out there who ain't care about our children, who are bring, right? We're serving notice now, because too much parents calling or coming up to the department, or I can't go with. Children don't wake up in the morning and decide, okay, I'm going to start to behave bad today. It's a process, and it's a process that comes with neglect from the parents. They don't do what they're supposed to do. And when they can't deal with the problem, now it's full-blown, that is when they're running up and down seeking for help. We don't want to do that. If you realize that, okay, my son, he is 4 and he's doing something that I don't really like, right? Stop it up right away. Stop it up.
And I commend the proaction of the department, and because even from an enforcement standpoint, it is almost seems or appears as though that it is left up solely to the police officers, the police, and even though that the police have that enforcement responsibility, the fact that the department is being proactive in ensuring by first informing and educating, and then basically taking steps to match what they would have, what the law says and what should be done. And I believe that this is something that is commendable, and it is at the right time. We are approaching the carnival season, and so it's something that should be taken seriously and taken further in relation to other agencies as part of a collective responsibility. So Randy, we'll take a break at this point, and when we come back, we could talk about the monitoring alongside the enforcement. Yeah.
ZIZ Radio, entertaining the nation, enjoyed by the world.
The holiday shopping season is here, and ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation wants to help your business shine. With the Holiday Sales Driver, you get the power of radio, television, and social media, all working together to drive customers straight to your door. Book your campaign today and reach thousands of shoppers across St. Kitts and Nevis. Sign up for 3 weeks or more and get a free live on-air feature. Call 465-2621 and ask for our ZIZ sales team. With ZIZ Radio, ZIZ Television, and Big Wave, your holiday sales success starts here.
The moment we've all been waiting for is finally here. ZIZ Petition Superstar 2025 is down to the final 4. After weeks of unforgettable performances, only 4 contenders remain in the race for the crown. Iquanja Bradley, Danicia Henry, Romesia Prentice, and Juanita Johnson. And on Thursday, they go head-to-head in the biggest night of the season, the grand finale, live from the ZIZ TV studio. Who will rise? Who will shine? And who will become the next Petition Superstar? Don't miss the final show, Thursday, November 27th at 8 p.m. on ZIZ TV, ZIZ Radio, and streaming live on ZIZ social media platforms. This is it, the talent, the passion, the showdown. ZIZ Petition Superstar 2025, the finale. Tune in for Policing with You, a half-hour radio program every Thursday morning at 9:15 on ZIZ Radio. Join host as he focuses on crime, factors contributing to criminal activity, crime prevention, and how the community can assist the police in reducing crime. It's Policing with You every Thursday morning at 9:15 on ZIZ Radio. Join us.
Okay, we're back, and a very interesting topic today. We are covering the kids not being supervised, one, and being on the road after 10 as a child without a parent, and of course visiting the adult entertainment areas where you are not allowed to be. So we go right back to the panel.
Right, thank you so much. Let's continue from where we left off, Mr. Percival. how does the department intend on doing the monitoring? And you talk about taking action. What processes of investigation and how does the final step come into play?
In terms of monitoring, and we spoke about doing the extra hours, going the extra mile, and these functions that are coming up, the officers, we will be out at night at these functions, at the gates, on the grounds, moving around and making sure that what we are asking for is being done. Yes, it's going to be a challenge, but we are up for the challenge. Okay.
So in that case, would the department have any representation meeting with the, let's say, the carnival committee to get the assistance at the shared responsibility aspect in terms of that?
We have started that. We had a meeting already with one of the fringe activities.
Yeah.
And we are supposed to have more.
Right.
With them. We are hoping to have an audience with the carnival, either the committee or the chair, right? And we just want to go out there and have a conversation with everybody, be it private or the carnival committee.
Right, and as you alluded to the fringe activities, because I know some 16-year-olds and so on, if they have not already bought the tickets and the best dressed, so for some people they're going to see this as a damper, and so the monitoring and the enforcement really requires that collective effort in terms of meeting with the organizers, meeting even from the police standpoint, so that there is one voice, one effort, so then everybody knows that, hey, we are doing this thing collectively because we understand that the potential risk of it. And police officers should see to as something that lessens the burden and the responsibility of they having to enforce. So part of that monitoring process alongside the department has to be from the police standpoint. So I really think that this is thing. We have a call? Okay, all right. Let's hear the perspective of this caller.
Caller, good morning. Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, go ahead.
Police officers, Louis Rascal. I am a native born Kiddishan. I just want to ask this. They say this has foster care program.
Didn't understand.
Like they take the children away from the parents for a period of time and put them in foster care. They all have a program like that.
Yes, we do. We have a foster care program at the department.
Okay. Well, today's Thanksgiving Day in America, and I'm getting ready to feast on some nice turkey. So I'm a kid, I'm licking my chops right now. Wait. Yeah, I wait till the phone roll out.
All right, Sonny.
All right, Kitty, my home boy, my country, and I'm enjoying the show. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving to America.
Okay. All right.
All right, enjoy. Yes, so as part of the collective responsibility, we have to talk about the businesses, Mr. Percival. The business, how we're dealing with the business.
In terms of what the businesses that sells the alcohols and stuff
because
like
we know that the law, because the thing as part of the investigation, the steps of taking action, does the department kind of make checks to see if whether or not what the requirement in the law is consistent with the license in terms of distribution?
The department has no jurisdiction over businesses, none whatsoever. That is solely on the police. But in the Liquor License Act, the police should be able, if they see a child coming out of the supermarket with a bottle of rum or a set of brown or any of that thing, the police should intervene on at that point. But the department has no jurisdiction over these things. We can charge, the only thing we can warn and caution is parents.
Okay. So if a report is made to the department, how that report become live in terms of what are the processes?
So when reports are made to the department, it can come from anyone, from anywhere. You can whether be via calling the on-call number or coming in, making a report, or people meet us on the street, people call our personal numbers, make a report. The reports are lodged and then they're divided up into which department it belongs, whether it's abuse, neglect, whatever the case is, and then assigned to an officer. Investigation then begins, depending on the matter, we're going to look at the alcohol with the child. So a child was sold alcohol, we need to find out, where did you get the money from? Who sent you to buy the alcohol? Who sold you the alcohol? And then this is where now the police get involved, because an adult should not be sending a minor to buy alcohol. And then the shopkeepers, the restaurants should not be selling alcohol to minors as well. So whether my aunt send me and you and my aunt are very good friends, so you're going to give me because my aunt sell me, that should not be happening. So the process then begins, whereas we have to go out, do the investigation, find out who did, who sent, and whatever the matter is, and then...
And make a determination as to the process, whether will be any prosecution.
Right, but then again, the prosecution side comes in from the police.
Comes from the police, and so that determination will be made. And in that case, that it's not that the case is passed on to the police.
No, we still have to investigate. We still have to ensure that from now on the child is being... We consider that to be neglect, because you're sending a child to do something he or she should not be engaged in. So we still now have to further investigate and further monitor the behaviors of the child and the family. So it's not that even we pass the matter to the police, we are hands off. We still have to follow up to ensure that there's nothing else coming of it.
Okay, so in the case of a deviant child, right? Sometimes I have had where parents says, "Me can't go with him. I don't do everything. I can." How does the department handle that situation in terms of the balance in the parental responsibility and the child just being deviant?
Okay, so let's look at it, because my coworker spoke up to it a bit earlier, whereas parents sometimes are the fault of these reactions. Whether it is the fault of the cause of neglect, abuse, whatever it is, sometimes we don't see that. How we react to certain things would make a child react a certain way. So we now try to collaborate with, whether it's counseling, whether it's
national intervention,
whoever to assist in what way. We have to investigate not only the child but the parent, because we have to see where it is stemming from. What caused the child to have these delinquent behaviors? Is it something, as my coworker said, that has been happening for a time but we ignored it? So now it's at the extreme. Now we're trying to see, let's just send the child to New Horizon, because that's what a lot of parents come for. We can't deal with it, let's just take them to New Horizon. But that's not how it works. We have to see if counseling can assist, not only for the child but the parent as well. How can the school assist? Company, friends, family members. So it takes a village, it's not just us.
So does the department check the child, through the school and so on?
Yes, we do. Everything.
But one of the concerns for me is that parents, how can you get so comfortable by saying you can't go with your child? The fact that the child is hearing that and you're saying that to the child, what do you think the child response can be when mommy can't go with me, so I can be here for what I want? I
have had some experiences. One of my experiences was that I went to a parent to deal with a report, a 13-year-old girl. And the parent said to me, "Officer, you bang me ready, and you're not going to go bang me a second time. I'll chop off your hand." And I found that really interesting. Seriously. I said, "But how did the child get to bang you?" I said, "Maybe there is something that you need to do," because I even said to her, I said, "Man, listen to me. If you realize you're feeding the child and the child get a certain amount, you cut back and what the amount.
Right.
So if you give 2 dumpling and 2 chicken, you cut down 1. And that is how you take control. In relation to that, I remember another one when I was working at St. Paul's, and this one was a nurse, and she will call the police. The child will go outside, stone in the house, and then she cannot get outside, and she calling the police to come and assist. When I responded and I engaged her with the child, she's saying to me that she's going to build an a room and the house for the child. I said that's exactly why the child is misbehaving, because you are awarding the child for bad behavior.
Right.
So you let the child know, hey, this is what can happen if you behave yourself. So parents have to understand that there are certain things that can regulate certain child's behavior, and they must not get any confusion in their mind that in order for them to get something, they have to behave badly.
Right.
It should be that they are rewarded when they do something good. And that is where I think sometimes that parents get a little bit confused with that.
I think parents are also confused about sparing the rod. Because they're sparing the rod. In my opinion, I'm meeting some 12-year-olds who say, my mommy never beat me. How? So you reached to me at 12, but your mommy never beat you.
Yeah.
So it's not adding up. Like, we are allowing children to go astray based on, we're not going to beat, we're going to take with the tablets, we're going to take with this, we're not going to be.
Yeah, you have to, there are certain privileges that you have to prepare to restrict the child.
Yes, and for me, I know there's a very thin line between abuse and punishment, but at some point the punishment has to come in. It has to come in, and the children are saying basically, hey, don't go, my mother don't beat me. I'm gonna take my phone for a week and I'm gonna get it back next week, but I'm gonna repeat the same behavior constantly. Very good.
So we are coming to the time, close to the time of wrapping up, but before because we want to talk about the education part of it, in terms of if a parent identify some of these potential challenges and they reach out to the department, what intervention processes are in place for the department for early intervention?
I'm so happy that you said early. And how early is early? Science has shown that even in the belly of a mother, that child listen, they can hear, they react, and that has been shown. So if you cannot speak to, or if you don't speak to a child between that time and 5 years, don't start 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. Don't start, because those years from 5 down, that is when the child is most impressionable. And they are guided better from that particular age.
Yeah, but back to the question: if by the time they get at that stage and they recognize the signs, they reach out to the department, what are the intervention strategies?
And it depends on what
issue
the issue is.
Okay,
because some parents, they will come and they will say, okay, my child is doing X, Y, Z. Let's say, for instance, he's skipping school, or he's staying out late at night, and those kind of things. And so these things, there must be an issue why.
Correct.
And let me tell you something. You see this thing they call schools, right? The most influences is in that particular school.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, I will have a friend, and my friend is doing X, Y, Z. I want to be doing the same thing my friend is doing. Right? My parents may not allow me to do it, but guess what? I want to do it because that's my friend. I want to be like my friend. Right? So we have parents have to be so careful. Look at your children like a hawk and see, okay, primary school, they were this. And I realized now they're in high school, I realized in a difference in the behavior that is cause for concern. So now you have to now start to cut the cloth, right, and make the suit differently. Right? So parents have to know their children, look at their children. So whenever these problems arise, we at the department, we now have to go and see. If talking doesn't work, we have to inject another method.
Does the department assist with counseling?
Yeah, we could refer.
Yeah.
We could refer to counseling, or we could inject somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Because hearing the message from a different voice sometimes works.
Yeah.
And we even go as far as asking officers from the prison to sit down with these particular. It depends on what the issue is. Sit down and have a conversation with them. Let them know how life is inside here. Mind you, in all the time you go and work, but you gotta try something.
Because I was about to ask, does this really help?
Sometimes you'll get, of course, sometimes
I
you'll
know
get success.
sometimes parents will say, let me take the child to the police station and show him the cell and ask him if that they want to. And I am not quite sure that it helps, because sometimes even adults have this mentality or this feeling, or when prison already I could go back again. So the stigma in terms of the figure thing. So sometimes you wonder if it does more harm than good when these kind of intervention take place. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if there is any research or study
and sometimes
that shows the positivity of
sometimes it depends on how damaged that child is. Because some children, they are damaged more than Humpty Dumpty when they fell off the wall. Right? So some of them, they are gone beyond repairs, and the parents are the ones who are at fault. Yes, sometimes you may think, okay, carrying them in the station, you might turn them a different way and that kind of thing and so, right? If you do it the proper way, the correct way in it, you'll get some results. Of course, sometimes you're just like hardened criminals.
Right.
You'll have some juveniles out there and they're set in their ways already, so you won't have that success with them. But it's a journey.
Right, because something that parents do, they, whenever they see a police, they tell, no matter how small the child is, see a police, they go with the police, lock you up.
Yes.
And sometimes the truth is I don't really like it anymore. Because I understand that used to work in the day. Because if you look at it now, children are no longer afraid of police. Back in the day, children used to be afraid of police, but not anymore. And so these are some of the cultural practices that we kind of adapt. And we tend to think that they help, but I am not sure if they really help, and how can we really change from them. I know Sergeant O'Day in the intervention team. How does the intervention team, the role, the responsibility, interact in all of this to bring the balance of being more positive in terms of presenting the police as a more positive? We have a call? We'll take a call. Yeah.
Hey, good morning. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go
good
ahead,
morning.
go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Make your point, sir.
Okay, yeah, I just want to say, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in the 70s, right? And, back then, things that we couldn't have done, I realized the kids, they've been getting away with this because, at the age of 16 years, even, up to that time, I'm going somewhere, everybody used to know who everybody is. I mean, the first thing they're going to ask you, what are you doing now? They're not even going to ask you. You get a good old ass whooping, and when you reach home, you better say that they don't tell your mom because, it's just like things are just different in the years of today, and we have to blame a lot on the parents because back then it used to be the village, it used to be the child. Yeah. Now somebody look at your child a kind of way. Oh, what are you looking at my child for? We didn't have that back up in the 70s. I mean, Rascal. You could have proved that.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, that is true, man. Nobody asks question. You got a good old whipping. When you reach home, you get the next set. You couldn't even pass your neighbor and not say good morning. Even if you don't see that person, you have to say good morning so and so, good night so and so, because the time when you don't say it, that is when they're by the window looking out. Before you reach home, bros, they're waiting for you. Or they beat the crap out of you and they ask what happened. I mean, I had a lot of those. The first thing your parents will say, oh, are you too bad, that's why you beat her, are you? I said, but mommy, you should have asked first. Oh, I didn't know that's how it goes. But anyway, and then now she say, look at where you are today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it says. Look at where you are today. All those unwanted punishments. Look at where you are today. And, you know, we were really mad, but now we are very grateful for the time that we grew up in.
Yes.
Y'all have a good day. Nice panel.
All right, thank you.
Okay, my brother.
So, Sadanodin, I was asking the point, and then we'll go to the wrap-up, because I think we are about that at that time.
At NIT, we do get the parent coming and saying, oh, police lock up. But then for me, I recognize that the child might be afraid of the police, so I would say, no, the police is your friend, and I would try to win over that child. My officers are out in the schools, the different schools, every day, bridging that gap. That is why we have the different programs. We make presentations in the school to show the children that the police is your friend. The police is a safe space.
We have another call? Yes, okay, we'll take the call and then we go to the wrap-up.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. Good program. You know, it's a lot of mouthful there. But one of the things that I want to interject, right, is the smoking, especially of the female. And why I'm talking on the female, right, because their reproduction organ system is different to the male. And you would agree with me, or you may not, but there's an increase in female who are smoking. And when I say smoking, they're smoking the marijuana, the ganja. You know, and I don't feel like the police is doing a good job at trying to stamp it out, especially at function. Because what has happened now is that the man them now give new man the way to carry, and new man taking out the portion, you know, and become more of a fashion. You know, and I know the lies there about smoking in public, but that too have to be serious, because I mean, I'm not dissing the ganja man them, but I mean, you know, you have to have an area where if you want to smoke, you smoke all night, all day, in your comfort. But it is very, very annoying and uncomfortable at a function. And young people, underage, smoking. Sometimes you go on a football field, and young people smoking. And police passing, seeing them, not even trying to talk to them about it. They just pass in the patrol and say nothing. Maguire and panel, you have to do better. We have to do better. When police are patrolling and they see these things, we ain't to lock up nobody. But I want to see them pull over and have a conversation. Excuse me, sir. How old are you? You know what you're doing is wrong? Have a conversation while you're patrolling. Not just when somebody calls you, you want to bring down the hammer on top of them and then go at the parents. Because many of these parents are irresponsible and immature. And it's a fact. I know you're going to wrap up, so I don't want to take much more of the time. I want to say good program and start somewhere.
Right.
You know, if you start somewhere, you must reach somewhere. So let's start now.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is a very valuable contribution. Definitely. And I like the fact that you are willing to hold the police officers, because I have to admit that not everybody who dressed in the police uniform are really discharging their responsibility as it is expected. And so it's something that we ourselves has to begin to hold ourselves accountable with in terms of as part of the enforcement.
And that's exactly what I've been saying.
Yes, yes. So we will just wrap up, and as we close out,
before you guys end the show, though,
yes.
One of the events that I think you guys have to really look into, it's Juve. After Juve, the hospital is packed with teenagers.
Yeah.
Having seizures, don't know where they be, hydrated. Trust me, it's really bad. Because Juve, a lot of the kids are in those troops and they're drinking. They don't even know what they're drinking. And then the smoking, double whammies. And
then the gummies.
Oh, yes. All the fashionable things that they think is so so super. And then they're talking out the head down the side of the road in the drain. I mean, it doesn't look good. And so that's one of the things that's one of the effects you got to really try to talk about. You know, I know it's hard to man, but talk about and really push towards, you know, the troops them who's giving away these alcohol and stuff. Because, hey, look, they don't walk with their own thing now, eh?
But that's one of the things that we're hoping would happen for the season, that officers who are on duty on driven morning, if you see a minor with a glass or something in their hand, you ask a question. If you see a minor with a Rizzler in their hand, you take it away. And eventually people ain't gonna want to lose their money because they're gonna feel every time I just buy that drink, somebody try it away. I just buy one over there, somebody try it away. They're not going to want to do it because they're not gonna want to lose their money. So if we're just hoping that the officers would partner with us for the Christmas season, and when you interact with minors who are in the street during the Juve, during the last lap, and you realize they're drinking alcohol and they're already intoxicated, you take action. Not just leave them to say, well, they're having fun, but take action. That's what we're asking for.
Well, you see, the officers don't want to spoil the fun. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Just as what Bucky said a while ago, if you see them smoking, you don't want to spoil the fun. Or you don't want to be the spoiler.
I think we need to spoil the fun for the future.
To enforce the law. See, if you enforce the law, you're not spoiling the fun.
Right. I agree.
That's mental.
It's not going to be done.
That's the mental.
Yeah.
You know, we're speaking about disciplining. If you don't discipline the child, the streets will discipline for him.
Yeah.
And the streets don't beat, they kill.
Yeah.
So you pick your choice.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, wrap it up.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, for me, my wrap up is come on board, help us, help the department, help the police, to help our children, to help our communities, and to help our country. That's my wrap up.
Can you drop a number, please, that folks can get in contact?
Our number is 662-6833. 662-6833.
And it's the Department of
Child Probation and Protection Services.
And my little wrap up would be, when in doubt, do not serve. You ask for an ID, when in doubt, do not serve.
Okay.
My wrap up would be, it takes a village. Not just the department, not just the police, but the village. Everyone gets on board. Better children, better future.
For me, you see something, say something.
And for me, I just want to thank you for taking the time out to listen and joining us with another session of Policing with you. Until next Thursday, we meet again, same place, same time.
Thank you.
All right. Well, for me is I hope this will continue and not die out today and tomorrow and the rest of the week. So we continue to have these enforcements and make sure that we get some good out of it. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Keep on keeping up the good work.